My name is... Yeah. Do I hold this? Okay, fine. You are set? Okay, my name is Dr. MWANGI. I'm the hospital spokesperson and also a director in Nakuru Memorial Hospital. We will not touch on the criminal matters that are going on because of the respect of the court that we have for the court. But so far, so good. We are happy with the way we have been treated. And for the civil matters, I believe many people are aware that on the question of the cancellation of title for Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, that there was a judgment delivered and it was declared, the cancellation was declared null and void. I think the government needs to get this message across that the officials of government who are in charge of even the large ministry do not have powers to cancel titles. And if they were to have those powers, then they will be overriding the judiciary, which is a separate arm of government. And we feel the judiciary has stamped its foot and they have declared that they cannot cancel any title. That power belongs to the High Court of Kenya, and we are very happy that that was declared through a judgment. The next issue, of course, we are waiting for is a judgment on who owns the land. And we went to the Nyandarua court, that is case number ELC 36 of 2023, which ended up in Nyandarua as case number 3, ELC code, case number 3 of 2024. And in that case, again, we had an adjournment. The side of the government said they needed an adjournment because they had issues. And so we were given the hearing date. It was adjourned to 26 and 27 of March, next month. And we're expecting there will be a judgment on that matter. Regarding the status of the hospital, right now, we have already managed to open the hospital, but not to the public. What we did first, we took about 3 weeks doing an inventory together with the county secretary in Nakuru and the CEC member for health. And they have cooperated significantly. Of course, the only challenge is in the last 2 meetings they didn't attend, but we have managed to do an inventory of the whole hospital, all the things that were in the hospital. We have that document signed by the county secretary of Nakuru, and in that case, in the committee, I'm a joint secretary together with the county secretary, Dr. Mwaura. We all signed the document, so we are in agreement. That is the inventory, the status as at that time when we did the inventory together with our counterparts in government, annex hospital staff. We all went there and we did the inventory. So that work is done, is completed. So we are now waiting to open the hospital at the guidance of the Court of Appeal. And we are following all court orders or directions by the Court of Appeal. Currently, we have managed to get a few staff. We have cleaned up the whole hospital. Now it is very clean. We are happy with the work which has been done. We were given a bill of 2.3 million for water and electricity. That is what now, for the period that we were closed. That is now what we are trying to brainstorm on and figure out how to handle that one. Because again, you cannot open a hospital without water or electricity. And we want to assure the public that by the time we open, we want to provide quality services. We have 11 dialysis machines in that hospital. Those machines should have saved so many lives by now in the last 1 year that we have been closed, but we are hoping the government is genuine. It will allow us to run those machines again once the power is reconnected and there is water, and we'll be able to provide services, quality services to Nakuru residents. The other issue, of course, we are working on is whether we will be able to get because there is a wall that was constructed all around, and we are trying to figure out who constructed the wall around our hospital, and we have the title. We are not getting clear information. The CEC member for health wrote to us and to CEC member for LAD wrote to us and told us they don't know who constructed that wall, so they have no approval documents. So we've been asking because there are some gaps in the wall that will create some bit of insecurity to the hospital, whether we can be allowed to seal the gaps and even put a modern gate so that we have good access to the hospital. And we also have to be very sure that we are able to provide quality health services, and therefore we want to make sure that the hospital has a burning furnace. Okay? We already have an incinerator, but for basic, the trash, we had applied so that we construct our own. And we know that in 1921 there is one which was constructed, but it is being used by annex. We can still use it if the government is free, will allow us to use the burning furnace. At the same time, of course, once we have ensured that the hospital is running properly, and all the equipment are running properly, okay? Of course, we lost a lot of medicines to expiry and theft. There's a lot of theft. So once this is done, then the next move is to apply for our license so that we can operate legally. That is basically what we want to achieve. Any questions? Yes. Oh, I know there's a lot of interest. I know there is a lot of interest. Part of it is dependent on how quickly the government can, for example, resolve the issue of the water and electricity bill when the hospital is closed, who consumed. Once that is resolved, I hope it will take maybe less than a month. That's what we are hoping. And then, of course, we will apply for a license. License should not take too long. Of course, it's a bit late now. There will be some penalty. But it is like nobody, I mean, we could not be blamed for that. It was closed. The hospital was closed unceremoniously. And so we are trying our best to make sure maybe within this month, before the end of February, but we must make sure everything is in place so that by the time we open the hospital, we are able to provide quality medical services, particularly for our patients who had kidney failure. We have good news for them. We have discovered ways of, as we use dialysis, we are actually able to reverse kidney failure, and that is very exciting for us. I'm particularly excited when I see my kidney failure patients recovering and reversing so that the renal function improves and comes back to normal. I'm very excited. And so we are revving to go. Hopefully, by the grace of God, we hope the government will cooperate so that we actually open. As soon as the government cooperates, we are ready even to open next week. We are ready to open. But we are having those meetings with the county secretary, the CEC member for health, so that we make sure that once we open the hospital, we are able to provide quality medical services. We do not just want to open the doors and then fail to provide the services we are supposed to provide. That is what we are working on. We hope they will be completely done. So far, so good. We have not had any hired goons coming. We had meetings with the county secretary within the hospital for about 3 hours, and no hired goons came. So I believe that shows exactly where the hired goons were coming from. But the basic point is that we are now in agreement to open the hospital. We keep on giving the services. So there is a serious gap. You may have known from media that in Kenya we have over 4 million people who are suffering who require dialysis with kidney failure. And this is precisely because when we do not provide quality services for people who are suffering from diabetes, for people who are suffering from high blood pressure, then eventually the kidneys fail. And when they fail, and this is actually related to the numbers involved. For example, if you close private hospitals and then patients now are forced to go to public hospitals. Public hospitals will be overloaded. I have been giving a very simple example. If you have one doctor with 100 patients waiting to see the doctor, for renal patients, for diabetes, you need at least 30 minutes for the doctor to understand what the patient is talking about and get the feel so that he can figure out the best management. So if you use 30 minutes and one doctor has 100 patients, it means that doctor requires 30 times 100, that is 3,000 minutes. Divide by 60, he requires 50 hours in a day to clear that queue. 50 hours in a day. A day has 24 hours. So let me tell you, the public, the truth. If you see a queue, you're going to see a doctor, and you see a queue of 100 people waiting to see that doctor, please know the doctor has only two choices. One, treat 10 patients properly. Use 5 hours. You'll be very tired. 90 will go to the governor and report that the doctor is not working. Number two, he will see all the patients and treat no one. We have to be very honest. Either, because it is 24 hours, your day has 24 hours, and you're assuming he is going to work without going to the toilet, without eating, without sleeping, even if it does it continuously. Let's face it. And this is the core issue we are raising, that we will never be able to provide quality health services when you are overloading government hospitals. We will never be able. And therefore, the people who are suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, and other complicated diseases, they will eventually end up suffering because they are not getting quality health services. The issues of insurance or the others, taxation, medical taxation, and so on, as we implement them, we must remember doctors are human, and we must give them time to manage the patients. So one of the reasons why we are getting very large numbers of people requiring dialysis is because we are not able to provide them quality medical services. If you go to any public hospital, look at the diabetic clinic, the clinic where people suffering from diabetes are attending. You will see figures like an average blood sugar of 18 millimoles per liter or 14 millimoles per liter on average. That means, and the normal blood sugar for you and me who do not suffer from diabetes, those who don't suffer from diabetes, the normal blood sugar should be between 3 and 7. Now, if these patients with blood circulation to the extremities, like the legs, and they will start dying when he is still alive, he will end up requiring amputation. So unless we make our decision that we are going to provide quality medical services without overloading our doctors, there is no way we're ever going to deal with the complications that we are getting from diabetes, from high blood pressure, and many other diseases, including TB. And so, as a doctor, I feel it is necessary for the public to know that for us to provide quality medical services, the public sector and the private sector in the medical field are like the wings of an aircraft. If any one of them is weak, the aircraft will come down, okay? So the government needs to appreciate the value of the contribution from the private sector. The moment they fail to pay them for the services they are providing, then eventually what will happen is that hospitals will close. When you have private hospitals closing, nobody should celebrate. Why? Because then the public sector will be overloaded. It is the private sector that is providing real tax benefits to the government. And it is that, the tax from the private sector, that is running the public hospitals. So if you close the private sector, then the public sector will eventually fail because of lack of finance. I think basically that is the point I want to make. And it is in the interest of the government and in the interest of the public that Nakuru War Memorial Hospital is reopened and it starts functioning again, because we had huge plans. We had ideas on how to save cardiac patients, cardiac catheterization, we had plans, but these plans were not being allowed. We applied to the county government and they blocked the development. We had ideas on how to deal with cancers, because there are very many right now. Oncology units, we were ready to start. Even in partnership with Nairobi Hospital, we were ready to start, but now they blocked us. So we are hoping they have seen the light, and they will now allow us to open the hospital and provide quality medical services for our Nakuru residents and even wider. We had patients who are coming all the way from Kitare. Right now, some of them are going to Nairobi. We were ready to open and provide those services so that they don't have to go so far. Thank you so much.
Ready? Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Minga. I lead a team of lawyers, defense lawyers, in this case where the directors of our memorial have been charged in court with various offenses. Now today was a date for hearing. We couldn't proceed because the late state counsel who prosecutes the case was taken ill. So the matter has been postponed to 19th of March this year, 11th of June, 18th of June, 23rd of June, and 25th of June for further hearing. Now, being that the matter is prejudice, I mean it's sub judice, I cannot go beyond what I've just said. Thank you.